Oh, this is it. And this is the wonderful Linda Houston that I've been raving about. And
Yeah.
just a little note before we get started in our one-way ticket to France. I just wanted to let you know how I connected with Linda. It was through one of the Exodus Summit pages. I don't remember which one it was, but she captivated me because she just spoke so lovingly and joyful about France, and I wanted to know why. So the only question that I had for Miss Houston was this: Linda, why France?
I first of all, I love the French language.
Mhm.
I was a flight attendant with Pan Am 100 years ago,
Okay.
and one of my first flight to Paris, I absolutely fell in love with it. I was there in the springtime, and it doesn't get dark until 10 o'clock at night, and everybody is out at the cafes, and it's really true. There is a joie de vivre there, and people can live in the smallest uh, apartments. Some of their apartments are smaller than our kitchens that we like in the United States, but they live in the streets. They're happy. They're outside. So I fell in love with the language. I fell in love um, with the culture, and I decided to move there. So before Pan Am closed down, I transferred to the London, Pan Am's London base. And so I could commute from London to Paris to take my flights out. And I just lived in Paris for 5 years. I just absolutely j'adore Paris.
Oh my goodness. And is that you love Paris? Is what you just said? Because I don't have
Yes,
any idea the
yes,
differences.
yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
That's
I absolutely
wonderful.
love. And I believe some of the things that I love about Paris, is that what you wanted me to go into? Even
Yes,
some other things?
one of the things that caught my attention because you wrote a lovely love letter. And that's why I fell in love with Paris. And one of the things that struck me there, many things, was this statement. I love that dinners at restaurants are 3 hours long or longer. I love that the French know that eating out at a restaurant is just not to eat, but it is to dine, to socialize, to enjoy the ambience and friends. And
I
oh
love
boy,
that.
that was
My,
so beautiful.
my
So
goodness.
why now? And when will you be going to France? Because I understand you have a one-way ticket.
I have a one-way ticket. Actually, I was supposed to have left on September the 7th. And some of you may have seen on other Facebook groups. I have a daughter who's 20, and she is an emerging adult. Praise the Lord. So there was some issues with her health. She was at Ailey studying for a dance, and Ailey in New York. And my goal, my dream was to drop her off at Ailey and keep straight to Kennedy Airport. She ended up getting sick in New York. She was diagnosed with Graves' disease. But she was also going through some grief trauma. Her father had passed in his sleep, and then her brother was killed. And she didn't take time to grieve. She just kept going. So
Okay.
anyway, I went to New York. I brought her home. I set up all the doctor's appointments she needed. I got her in touch with everybody. She has two therapists. She has an endocrinologist for thyroid. She has everything. However, I think God is so good. He just worked it out. He showed me that I didn't need to be here because she's not going to listen to me anyway.
Join the crowd.
But now I know it's not like I'm going to be over there feeling bad because I left my child. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yes.
So it just worked out. I rebooked my ticket that I had to leave one way on September the 7th. I rebooked 2 days ago to leave on December 25th. I will do Christmas here. All the presents will be open and it'll be over with. And I have my one-way ticket leaving on December 25th for Paris.
December the 25th.
Yes.
And to Paris. And
Yes.
yeah, you're not coming back. I know you're coming back because you have a
Oh,
daughter.
yeah, I have to come back. I'm just going to, because I lived there 30 years ago,
Yeah.
although I've been back many, many times, I want to make sure that I want to go there to stay. Paris is not for the weak of heart, and it's not for senior citizens. Every metro at least has 100 steps in it. But I just love Paris. So if I can go to Paris in December in the mid of winter, when it doesn't get daylight to 9 a.m. and it's dark by 5 and it's drizzly and cold, and I still feel the same way, then that's it. Otherwise, I will spend most of my time in Nice, but it will be in France.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So what is your daughter's name? What's
Her
your
name is Faith.
Faith. Okay, we're gonna keep Faith in our hearts and our prayers.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So tell us a little bit about what you do, Linda. Who are you?
I am a criminal defense attorney.
Okay.
When I left France, unfortunately, I went to law school. No, I shouldn't say unfortunately. I went to law school. I graduated from Howard University, and I've been practicing law since 1993. I was a judicial law clerk for 1 year, and I've been practicing criminal defense law since 1993. And I do some personal injury and bankruptcy, but primarily criminal defense.
Okay, so what are your plans now that you're moving to France?
Well, first of all, I'm going to transition my in-court law practice into an online practice. And what I've started doing, there is I don't know if anyone has heard of it. It's called the Second Look Act, or the Incarceration Reduction Act Amendment. It's all briefs and it's all paperwork, and it's designed to take a second look at individuals that committed crimes when they were under 25 years of age,
Right.
and they were sentenced to life sentences, but if they've served 15 years of it, the court would take a second look on to determine if they're rehabilitated, if they no longer pose a risk to the community, and they will release them under conditions. But it gives me an opportunity to work from anywhere.
Right. So that's what we're happy about.
Very happy about that. And also during COVID, I don't know if I told you this, Edith, but I took a postmaster certificate in teaching higher education at the University of Maryland, Baltimore. So my goal for that is also to try to do teaching online. So
that's wonderful.
I know. Sometimes I say, Linda, what? Stop.
Now did
my daughter said another option, which I have applied for, is being a pro bono attorney. Meaning I don't work for free. I work for the client for free, and the court pays me. To do appellate work for the Court of Appeals in DC. And that would be if someone went to trial and lost at trial, they would appeal the matter to the Court of Appeals. And that's all paperwork also. Everything is done via email online. So I would have those options. So because I adopted a child at 50, I don't have retirement, so I have to keep working.
And work you do, I tell you. Yes, our guest has a question for you, because we have some guests. Yeah.
Oh, I've got a question. Would you compare like the city of Paris to New York City as far as the activity and people and how busy the streets are with people walking and cars and all of that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That has always been my comparison um, of a state in the United States for Paris, because a lot of times people will say that the Parisians are so rude and very brisk, and that's kind of like the same way New York. So Paris is comparable to me to New York.
Mhm.
And Nice also, I love Nice. It's very nice. That's more comparable maybe to Florida,
Mhm.
and the weather, but not as the coldest in Nice is about 57 in the winter that I saw last year.
Oh, okay. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Great question, Annette. Ronnie, do you have any questions for our guest before she continues?
Good morning, everyone. No, not at this time. I'm just fascinated and enjoying this. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Some of the other things that I like about Paris, and it's also with the dining, that it's a requirement that you leave your desk for lunch. They do not want you working through lunch. It makes it look bad for everybody else that's taking their lunch. It's like a 2-hour lunch break.
Wow.
And also the French system, I think they give you about 6 weeks of paid vacation.
Wow.
They incorporate in their healthcare medical spa treatments. Like they see it as part of a they treat disease prevention
Yes.
much more so. Well, America doesn't really treat disease prevention. America is the best place to be if you ultimately get sick. But our healthcare system won't pay for a lot of preventive and stress relief stuff.
Right.
But they
Right.
will in France.
Right. You've said that healthcare in France is a right and not a privilege.
Right, that's correct.
Okay.
In France, as that you probably know, they have the national healthcare system, which Obama had been trying to get here.
Yeah.
So everyone is insured. You don't have to stay in a job that you hate to keep your health insurance. And
Mhm.
also, if you leave that job, you don't lose your health insurance.
That's
They the taxes are higher for everyone in France than here,
because of
but
the
the healthcare, yeah, the healthcare is the taxes have
guarantee.
go for the healthcare, and if
It's
you look at it, we're
guaranteed.
ultimately paying more whether it comes out of our taxes or if we did have a national healthcare system.
Wow, that's wonderful.
And
So
I think
I do have a question. Hi, this is Rogella speaking. So I know you said you'll continue working, but are you going to be working remotely for a US-based company, or did you consider working for a company based in France?
no, I'm gonna still be working for DC Superior Court.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've always just worked for myself. I've been self-employed for 30 years. So
Okay.
yeah, I work for myself. I'm just trying to transition it from having to show up in person to being able to do everything online.
Okay.
COVID, I'm like, take the best from COVID, you know?
yeah,
Like that was what everybody learned could be done,
yeah.
and gives you so much more freedom. So that's what I want to do. Just
Okay.
figured out how to, and at one point it was this was so helpful to me. A friend told me I could not decide what I wanted to do and what I wanted to transfer into. And he said, if you can't think of what you want to do, think of those things that you don't want, that you do not want to do. And once you slow down and think of that, things will just come to you. but you have to make a choice. I decided I did not want to litigate trials anymore. Um, Right, I did not want to be in trials because it is the true name of a trial is a trial. It's very stressful. So so once I cleared my head and decided what I did not want to do, that's when I got all these other options. I was just Googling teaching law, and the University of Maryland certificate program for teaching higher ed, came up.
Yes, yes.
And yeah, just little stuff like that. So, and I just started stacking stuff. And if one thing doesn't work out, I always have a backup to a backup.
That's right. So listen, are you planning on, if you decide to stay, are you planning on dual citizenship? And if so, how are you beginning to prepare for your leave?
Well, I was going to get the long stay visa for France. That's initially what you get. And I don't want to get into a lot of immigration stuff
Right.
because I haven't looked up in a long time. But they do have what's called a long stay visa,
Yes.
and that's up to a year. And after you get that, then you can, I think you have to apply 3 different times on that, and then you can get residency. But to answer your question for me, no, because I'm at the point now where I am actually doing my estate planning for my daughter,
Right.
and I want to leave her a book of what to do. And there's the tax issues and other things regarding the house, and you have to let the IRS know what you're doing,
Yeah,
because you got
yeah.
to go to. I know. I'm just gonna be on the down low for right now,
Right. I
and I'm
see.
gonna go
see.
for. I think you can stay up to 90 days without a
Yes.
visa. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna do my 90 days and then come back, then go back again.
Okay. So you
Yeah.
don't have to declutter, you don't have to do any of that stuff because your daughter, according to you, is going to be living in your home. So you just are free as a bird right now. You can just take off.
Well, that's my hope. Well, no, let me back up. I do have to declutter. I'm like overwhelmed with papers and documents and stuff. So my decluttering is basically my estate planning documents, papers, everything that would be that she could access and understand,
I
and
see.
not leave all that a mess. So
I
mine
see.
is basically I'm trying to set up a trust.
Okay. I see.
Yeah, my daughter has ADHD, and yeah, she needs a trust.
I understand. I definitely
Yeah,
understand. Yeah.
yeah, and when you do the I wasn't going to do dual citizenship. I would easily give up my US citizenship for France. I was just going to do French residency.
Yes.
But I think, yeah, you have to pay taxes in both places. And now also another thing with that, at my age, I don't want to give up my Social Security.
Yes. You have to give that up.
Not the Social Security, the Medicare.
Okay. Okay.
For the insurance and stuff. And
Right.
Medicare, US Medicare is not accepted in France. So
Okay.
you would get on their healthcare system. But Medicare is such that if you're off of it, I don't know if you can get back on it, or you're penalized forevermore with a financial penalty if you let it drop and then try to get back on it.
I
So,
see.
yeah, so for right now, I'm just going to do 90 days at a time.
Okay. Do you have a place to stay already? Do you know where you're going to be staying?
Well, when I booked this time, I just booked a hotel for 2 weeks. And then
I
once I
see.
get there, I've been looking at apartments. Once I get there, I'll look for something so that I can see. Because my last apartment, when I went last October, if my goddaughter had not come over, I could not have locked the door. They have the big heavy door, and they have
Yeah.
the skeleton keys, and you have to turn it like 3 times.
Yes.
I didn't have the strength in my hands to just lock the door.
Right,
And I want to see the place. I want to make sure they have stairs. You know, there's a different in traveling at, I'm 70. It's a different in traveling at 70 than
Right.
27. And
exactly.
yeah, and I just want to
Right.
be able to see a place. So, and I want somebody downstairs too that I can call on. So
Right, I
I'm
see.
starting out with a hotel.
I see. So the question that I have is what's, if you wanted someone to enjoy the benefits and everything that you wooed me about Paris, France or Nice, what season or what month would you suggest that they go and visit?
Uh from May through September, October.
Okay, May through October.
Yes. Now August is the very the French most of them leave Paris for the month of August. So, and a lot of things shut down.
Why is
Some
that?
us- because they take their month vacation and they're just
Oh.
August is a month of vacation
Okay,
and stores shut down and they just go.
okay,
But there's a lot still open because Paris is a tourist town. But a lot of the French are out of the city in the month of August. But
right.
May is wonderful. June is wonderful. That's when it stays like daylight until 10 at night, you know, and
Okay.
everybody is still out. So that's very
Okay.
nice.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Great. Thank you. Thank you.
Since I retired, you know, I have a set time. No. I have a set, I got 3 hours in the morning and I do focused, concentrated work. Then I return calls I try to, at noon and 5. And then I'm through to the next day.
Between
But
noon,
for you,
writing this down, and 5 p.m. if you want to connect with Linda.
Or leave a message and she'll call back.
Yeah.
for so many years, I was Zoom. And so I have learned to create my space. And
Okay.
because my job is dealing with everybody called mostly, except for y'all, has a problem.
I know.
So
I
you've
got it.
taken as a lawyer, you're taking all that in.
I got it.
So
I
I have
got
to have a set time to deal with people's
I
stuff.
got it. But when you
Yeah.
see my number, you know I'm not coming with a problem. So you
Okay.
answer that call.
Okay. Are there any more questions or anything?
Um,
Have you ladies been to Paris? Or
no,
France?
it's on my bucket list.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
I have a
you
quick food
might be
question.
hearing from me.
I just have a
Okay.
quick food question. Is there
Mhm.
enough food on the plate? Everything looks so cute. I'm just want to know if I'm gonna be hungry.
They don't eat like we do. They eat over several hours and they eat courses. And the courses, by the time you eat the courses and the small portions, you are satisfied, you're full. That's why they don't have the obesity that we have in the States. When I first came back to the States, I was like, we went to one of the seafood restaurants. And after being in France, I was in shock because the food actually comes on Red Lobster. That's what it
Red
was.
Lobster.
The food is served on a platter. You know, it's not a plate. So, but they have an appetizer. They have, like 3-4 courses. They're in with cheese or something. So by the time, you know how they always tell you to eat slow,
Yeah.
and you see that you don't need as much because you're getting full. That's how they eat. That's
Yeah.
how they eat. Yeah.
So is lunch considered their main meal and dinner is the lighter meal? Like in Mexico, they eat heavy at lunch time and then dinner is light later on.
It varies. I know on Sundays they always have a big Sunday dinner with family, and then the Sunday dinner would be like a big salad or something. But like it depends. It's like here, if we go out to a big lunch or something, then that'll be a heavier meal. And we were hopeful when we eat that night, we'll eat a lighter meal. So it just depends on what you're doing.
Mhm.
Yeah. But they do not eat breakfast. They don't eat breakfast.
Okay.
And I was reading an article about all the croissants and all the pastries and how everybody just stays so skinny. They said most of the French people don't eat the pastries and the croissants for breakfast. They have coffee for breakfast and then they eat for lunch. And most of the croissants and all that are for the kids' breakfasts.
Wow, I love croissants.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, yeah.
So,
But
Linda, what
yes.
did you do for fun? I mean, what did you do for fun there, other than, sightsee and enjoy the?
Oh, child. I don't know if I can tell this, because I was like, what did I do for fun? Because I lived there, it was just life there. You know what I mean? It was the daily stuff. When I was there before, I had a couple of friends, and everything is around socializing and getting together with friends. Like you go to their house for dinner, and you're there like for 5 hours, in a little tiny apartment. And well, back then, I would go to the club, stuff like that. It was kind of like everyday life when you live somewhere.
Right.
You
Yeah.
live and you work, and that was basically it. The friends, the sightseeing, and you can have a good day in Paris just taking a picnic to a park with some bread and cheese and sitting and eating it and enjoying that. And I just love the city. So I guess that makes a difference for me. It's just being there, just being. Oh, and if you do go to Paris, do not stick to Louvre at 8 a.m., Eiffel Tower at 2. Just get out and walk and be there. Just be. Because each little street you go down, you're never lost. Each little street opens up a whole new neighborhood, little shops, little off big track restaurants where you get authentic food. You're gonna want to do the sightseeing stuff, but my advice to everybody is just be.
Oh, wow, that is
Just
so powerful.
Mhm.
But
Any other?
I would love for some of you all to go with me to Paris, and I just love it. It gives me joy inside. It makes me happy.
I would
And I'm
love.
gonna see if I can deal with all those steps in the metro. I had intended to, now maybe I can send it to Edith, some Facebook groups for expats in Paris, or expats in France. And there's some videos that have walking tours of different arrondissements in Paris. It's different neighborhoods, and I just sit and watch those. And
You can create your own, Linda, because you're a leader. You can say newbie Facebook groups for expats in Paris because you want people to join you. And I definitely feel like I'm going to be joining you. And I saw Annette's hand up. So you got
Okay.
2 people already hooked.
Okay, I'm not adding anything else to do right now, but I hear you, and I would love to do that. You mean I don't know how I'll get my daughter to create a Facebook group for me. I'll say that. I can do that. It'll just be that. That's not a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you can manage it and do what you want to do
Okay.
rather than being a part of another group that's going to take you somewhere else.
Okay. Can I just say this? There's another group called Brown Girls Who Love Paris.
Oh, really?
That's a Facebook group, and it's all about Black women taking trips to Paris. Brown Girls Who Love Paris. I think that's the name of it. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I say one more thing about my love for it?
Yes.
When I was there last October, my goddaughter and I took the night ride on the same river. And we were coming back, and all the buildings were in that beautiful yellow light, and the Eiffel Tower was twinkling. And I said, Lord, if you take me now, I'm happy.